Car fanatics, this one's for you. This year is the 30th anniversary of two iconic motorsport legends. The BMW 325 IS and the Opel Kadett Superboss are integral parts of South Africa's motoring heritage. Motorhead Dasen Thathiah got into the hot seat of these cars.
I'm brown in my watch out, kiss me brown in my couche. Sometimes I'm brown in my
That should give you a clue to exactly how popular this car is. I mean, there was even a song made about it. When I say Gusheshe, I'm sure this is what comes to mind.
I'm brown in my watch out, kiss me brown in my couche.
But beyond the smoking rubber and the donuts, there's another side to the South African icon. And I'm going to show you what it is. Hannes.
How's it, Dasen?
Good and you, man.
Very good, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
I couldn't sleep because I knew that I was coming all this way to set my sights on this beauty. I know that it's part of your sentimental collection, but just what exactly is it?
So Sentimental for Cars at Koza really is a passion project. You know, we help people buy cars. That's our purpose. It's a very logical reasoning kind of process. But we've also discovered that South Africans are really passionate about cars. We really want to play our part in protecting this heritage for future generations. But you know, you've come a long way. Don't just look at it. Take it for a spin.
So you're giving me the honor?
I'm giving you the honor.
Okay, but I'm going to have you with me because I want to continue this chat as we go along.
There's a lot to talk about.
Hannes, don't mind if I do.
You must give it a good rev.
Ready to roll.
Are you, Dasen?
Always, man. There is no substitute other than experiencing this car for yourself. I mean, like I said when I jumped in, you have to forgive me, but I mean, there's certain things.
It's almost all about the sound, isn't it?
So many people do. They revere this car. And it's only when you get into the driver's seat, you understand how it captivates you.
Absolutely, and it's addictive.
Yeah.
Every part of it is addictive. It's the gear shift. It's, you know, just a little bit of wetness on the road. You can get the little bit of movement on the back without too much effort.
You know that you're driving a car that's about 3 decades old, right?
Definitely. But at the same time, I've been surprised by this car's comfort and luxury, actually, because if you think about it, this was a racing car.
Yeah.
But you've got a sunroof, you've got aircon, you've got ABS. You can
get by.
Yeah.
Before the box-shaped BMW got its reputation as a spin car, it dominated the local motorsport circuit.
You know, in the late 80s, early 90s, South Africans were still very much motorsport passionate. So there was a very fierce battle on South Africa's racetracks all across the country.
Yeah.
And it was always, you know, you were either in the BMW camp or you were in the other camp.
Yeah.
And this car's entire existence really is a result of that arms race, if you can call it that, in the late 80s, early 90s, because BMW used Group N so effectively.
So what did BMW do then to ensure that they kept this car at the front of these races?
Well, you know, before this there was the normal 325i coupe, the Shadow line, but because the competition got a little bit stiff, they had to do something, and of course at that point the 333i had been discontinued, and South Africa couldn't get the M3, so they really had to see what they could put together themselves without any major help from Germany.
So it holds true to the idiom that, you know, South Africans always have that mentality of making a plan.
definitely make a plan. So increase the engine capacity, up the power, 145 kilowatts. This EVO 1 even has a fairly rigorous weight-saving part to it as well, including
Lights and panels.
Yeah, aluminium bonnets, aluminium panels in the sides. So you know, that was enough to bring it to the front again and to make it competitive. And obviously you had legendary drivers as well. You had the likes of Tony Viana, Robbie Smith, Dion Joubert, and those guys really, you know, they were as important a part of the Gusheshe start of the story as the car itself.
I think the most frustrating bit about driving a car like this is that
well,
traffic or any sort of obstruction on the road, because this car literally feels like it wants to just
to run.
free.
Well, it was made to run. Yeah, unfortunately, a lovely road, but one of the most loveliest roads in Gauteng, and we stuck. In the periods after the 90s, the early 2000s, nobody really realized exactly how valuable these cars are going to become. And that's where the popular culture really sort of reignited that passion for the E30. And that's why it is what it is now.
I'm sure there are a lot of previous owners that are kicking themselves now.
If you plan to add a 325 IS to your collection, you'd best start saving now.
A pristine example of a EVO 1, you know, matching numbers, everything, restoration done, or you know, one owner, low mileage car, you're looking anywhere between 500 and 700,000 for one of these.
This is a comfortable car.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from wanting to listen to this engine note and exhaust note all day long, I actually wouldn't mind driving it from Durban to Joburg at a legal speed.
Yes, no, and you can. It's just, yeah, it's a bit of a risk these days with this car. There's a lot of people who want it and don't necessarily want to pay that 500 to 700 for it.
Unsavory types that are after this car.
And as if to emphasize that point, I was stopped twice by police within a few hours.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you? Sorry, we're just filming an inset.
Just good.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Thank you.
The temperamental electrics and niggling issues let you know this isn't a new car.
But when you drive something like this, you're just reminded that what it actually feels like to mechanically, how does it feel to change a gear?
Yeah.
The steering, the purity of the steering. You can feel everything in the car. It's talking to you all the time. It's happy, it's not happy, you're in the wrong gear.
Yeah.
There's nothing like...
and it has no qualms about telling you when it's not happy with you.
It involves you in a part of the process, which I think modern cars, barring a few exceptions, don't really do.
Now, as we approach this speed hump, thinking that sometimes we're so spoilt, thinking that we can just brake a meter or so away from where you need to stop, and cars like this will remind you that you need to be in tune.
You need to think.
Yeah.
You need to concentrate. Otherwise, you it's going to end in tears.
Definitely, and that's what I'm feeling now. The more that I'm driving this car, but the strange thing is that I really feel like I've adapted to it. I feel comfortable in it, and it feels fun. You mentioned connecting with the car, and literally as I change this gear, I can feel the car working to do that. There's no seamless change. There's no car that's thinking for me. I mentioned the braking just now.
Yes.
It's like it's given me back some of the responsibility of driving, which modern cars I feel have stolen from us.
And I think that's the way that car enthusiasts and the whole car culture is going to evolve in future as motoring becomes more about mobility, more than and getting from A to B, more than having an emotional connection. You're going to have a lot of people, petrol heads included, that are going to have that mobility device for the week.
That's right.
But then invest in something like this to play with on the weekends.
While I was bonding with the beloved box, Hannes had other plans to divert my attention.
So Dasen, you know we've been talking about rivalries in Group N, right?
Yeah.
And as much as you're enjoying this car, I can see you enjoying it.
Yeah.
There was, you know, for there to be a rivalry, there needs to be an opponent.
Yeah, of course. I was so distracted talking about this car that we didn't get to that.
And there's one very important, also South African bred icon that I think we need to bring into the discussion at this point, and which actually resulted in there being an Evo 2 eventually.
Are you going to break my heart?
Well, let's see if your heart is broken, because voila, the Opel Kadett Superboss.